Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Longley's Line Podcast. I am your host, Stephen Longley. Remember to like, follow, subscribe on all of our social medias. Stephen Longley for me, Longley's Line for the show, Lightstyle Studio for our studio here. And if you guys are long listeners of the show, which, hasn't been that long, but if you're a listener of the show from the jump, we started out just audio, then we moved to video. And before we moved to video, we had a lot of different guests come on that told us their stories that, much like how we always do here, about their time in the entertainment industry, what they've done, what they're doing, how they got there, all that fun gobbledygook. And right before we moved to video, we had my guest here today, and I'd like to reintroduce him, Mr. Nic Bullentini.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Nick, thank you for being here. Before we get rolling into anything, go ahead and promote all your socials, where everybody can find you, stuff like that.
Yeah, leave me alone. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
all my social medias is literally my name, Nicholas Bullentini, spelled Nicolas, just like Nicolas Cage. Mm-hmm. Coincidence? Maybe.
I think not.
Maybe.
I think not.
Anyways, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, great movie. I'm going to be in the sequel, I think.
I think so, as a stand-in. Or maybe a double.
Hey, there you go. Nicholas for Nicholas.
Exactly.
That makes sense to me.
Mine is, have you ever seen New Girl?
Oh, I haven't.
So the main lead in that is Jake Johnson, and we look almost exactly alike.
I think you told me that before, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's funny because one of my photographer friends, every time we meet up and do something, he's just like, "You ever seen New Girl?" to anybody, and some people are like, "Yeah" or "No." It was like Nick Miller right there, and then I'm like, "Yeah." So sometimes I'll like tag Jake Johnson or something, and be like, "Hey, let me stand in for you."
And like all your stuff you're doing, you're just tagging them in, and you're just like, "Shh."
I'll be your brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. Just let me. Just let me, come on.
Please.
It was like, all right, you're a little too thirsty. Get out of here.
Please.
Come on, man. But that's kind of my double. So, Nick, thank you for being here. To start off, where are you from originally?
I'm actually from Reno.
Reno, born and bred. What high school did you go to?
I went to Galena High School.
Galena, okay.
Graduated in 2010.
2010. Mine was 11 from Spanish Springs.
Jeez, it feels like so long ago.
I know. It's, oh, wait, that was 12 years ago. Something crazy like that,
Oh, man. I'm not starting to understand when everyone said it, like, oh, I'm getting old. And then, like, yeah, I'm starting to feel that.
Yeah, I know it for sure when I roll out of bed, just, oh, my back, all kinds of stupid shit. And when you were in high school, did you ever participate in any theater or anything like that? Were you more into sports? Kind of, what was the starting trajectory?
Both of those, actually. What's funny is I was taking an AP biology class, and like, I don't know, like, how do I phrase this? I didn't get caught cheating, but
sure,
kind of got caught cheating.
Till proven guilty.
Yeah, like, pretty much it was like you do a part of the test, and then once you're done with that, like, you put that away, and then you do the next part of the test, and you're not allowed to look at the previous part of the test. Well, I didn't catch those instructions.
Sure, yeah.
So I was like looking, and I was like, oh, I know what the answers are. I just saw this, and then, yeah, after that, the teacher's like, oh, you shouldn't drop the class because you can still pass. And I was like, I'm going to go do theater.
Was that just like something you wanted to do, or kind of it was the next elective that you kind of thought of?
I had a friend in that class, and he was just always telling me how much fun it was. So I just kind of switched out into theater. And then, honestly, like, I was a big troublemaker in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not the same person I was back then.
I think if you talk to anybody that I went to high school with, I'm pretty much the same person. I'm just I just show up.
Oh, hey, man, that's good.
I'm just kind of here. And then it's like, it's the same type of person where I just show up, and I played football in high school.
Oh, yeah, nice.
So, like, that was what I wanted to do, but I'm small in comparison. And then it's like I got hurt my senior year, and then it's like I've always kind of thought about that, and it was like, maybe I could have gone to the college level. I'm like, I'm small compared to the position.
We could have gone state. Oh,
yeah,
we could have done it.
We could have been state, man. No, we went to like the playoffs once.
Oh, hey, I mean, that's still, yeah, hey.
And we got smushed.
Football's tough. I played football as well. It's not easy.
What position did you play?
I played defensive end, actually.
So did I.
No way. Yeah. No, like, you're probably the same then. Or just a small guy that always just got around.
I was there. I was, like, my freshman year, I was the 4th string offensive lineman. Because it's freshman year, so there are so many kids
and
that
you,
are
like,
there.
don't know what you're like, oh,
yeah, I was
new.
like, will you teach me to football? And I'm like, I don't know what
sports,
I'm doing here. Yeah, I like sports ball. But then I came in, and then after a while, they were like, "We'll move you to defensive end," and then that's what I played for the rest. So
so fun.
Every time I watch football, it's like that's what I'm harping on is the defense. And my wife just started like really getting more into sports, so she'll watch it with me, and then I'm yelling at the TV. It's like, "What do they do with the?" You know, just kind of watching everything. And she's like, "What? What are you yelling at?"
It's just me here.
I'm like, you see how he's holding this? I was like, okay, settle down. You're scaring the
They
cats.
can definitely hear you. You just gotta yell louder. That's all.
It's like the neighbors hear me, and he's also a Niners fan, so it's perfect.
So he knows, yeah.
Yeah, so he's yelling.
I'm yelling
right
with
there
the neighbor.
me. Yeah, that's how we met all the neighbors because we have a Niners flag in the front yard. So
I wasn't the yelling. No, it was
I was afraid it was the yelling. But then when we put the flag up, all the neighbors every time we'd come walking out, I was like, "Oh, Niners fan, huh?" And then we'd talk about each individual team. So now I know all the neighbors.
That's one way to do it. At
was
least
like,
it wasn't like,
football brings it all
Raiders, and you're like, huh? Yeah. Like what?
Yeah, it was like, well, you want to do because my next door neighbor is a Packers fan, so every time it's like I've got no hate for Packers fans at all, no hate, but I talk a lot of shit on them just because like one of my best friends, he's a big Packers fan, so it's like
that's the most fun.
Yeah,
it's like I don't even care about the team. It's like my friend likes it though.
Yeah, it was like I will talk so much shit just for fun.
So I didn't even care, but you like them. Now I care.
Yeah, now I care a little bit more. All right, let's talk a little shit. So you go into the theater class. Did you instantly fall in love with it, or was it just kind of it's high school? Like did you ever think anything more of it?
It was a lot of fun, actually. I really enjoyed it. I have actually a really funny story. For our final for that class, we had to do a piece, like me and a friend had to do a piece together, basically. Mm-hmm. And so we chose Lord of the Rings.
There you go.
And literally we just go to the library every day and not do a single thing and just mess around the whole time, do nothing, whatever. We're supposed to be writing a script. We're supposed to be memorizing lines, like all this stuff, right? So the final day comes around, and we've seen the Lord of the Rings like so many times. That was like our favorite movie. We watched it just a million times just on our own. So we're like, yeah, whatever. So we go and we improvise the entire trilogy on stage for the final, pretty much. Like no lines, nothing, just on the spot, just like, all right, let's go do this. And then like on the side, like, all right, sounds great, let's go. And then go out and like on center stage do the thing. He was Smeagol, I was like Frodo. I like tackled him off the stage. It was so bad. I ended up getting a ring and I like threw it at the teacher, and I was like, I cast this and like the mountains of Mordor, and like threw it at my teacher.
She's like, what the fuck?
And turns out actually it was Mount Doom, and my friend said Mount Mordor. And my teacher was a huge Lord of the Rings fan, right? Oh. So we actually got 100% on the project.
Nice.
Because it was just, he knew exactly what was happening.
Knew what was going on.
Oh, yeah, he knew that we didn't do anything, and he just loved every second of it.
Just recreated all
of it. But he docked us 2%. He gave us a 90% because my friend said Mount Mordor instead of Mount Doom. Because he's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Yeah.
Such a stickler for it. I get those people.
Honestly, we should have not gotten an A. He's like, where's the script? And we were like, man, just
pull out a receipt.
Yeah, like, I think it's here. Like it's like $1 bill, like $5 bill. You're like, yeah.
I think Mr. Lincoln knows where it is.
It was wherever he was during his theater showing.
And he's like, he's dead. And then just takes it, put it in his pocket.
He would want me to have it.
Yeah. Just thanks, guys. So then you kind of go through your little stint in high school with doing theater. Did you have any aspirations to still pursue it, or is that kind of when music more came into the fold? Or what happened after that?
I did take an acting class in college, and I still will never forget this. Like, nobody knew me. I was like new to the class. I had 0 friends in it. Like, I was just like new guy.
Yeah.
So I get there and like we're supposed to do a monologue, and I do my monologue, and I just went full sail. Like I went from like what I am now, like yeah, schmirm, to like wow, like all crazy. Like, yeah. And at the end of it, my teacher's like giving me a standing ovation. Only one, just my teacher, just like yeah, like whatever, and everyone else is like, what did we just witness? And then
what's happening?
So she's like, you know why I would cast Nick in plays? And everyone's like, just crickets. And she's like, well, because he's crazy. And I was like, yeah, thanks.
Is that good or bad? Well, I got the part.
So that was my college theater experience, I guess.
Have you ever seen Juice?
Yeah.
With Tupac?
Oh, yeah.
So the famous story from how he even got that role was while they were auditioning, you know, it was the setup kind of like this. People are in the back and it's just him, and he picked up his chair and threw it across the room. And they were like, that's why we casted him, because he's a little crazy and he commits.
Exactly. Like the crazy guys, like willing to do things the non-crazy people aren't. Like, yeah.
That's one of the things you realize when it comes to like actors. They're really just normal people, but with a little craziness to them.
I think I like the word eccentric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one too.
Like slightly to the right.
Yeah.
You know, just a little crooked. Like,
just a little bit. They're on their own path.
So what does Lewis Carroll say in Alice in Wonderland? Like, all the best people are mad, like, pretty much. Yeah.
We're all mad here.
Exactly. I'll tell you a secret. Yeah. The best people are. Like,
yeah. Makes a lot of sense. So then you go through the one class in college. Did you have... What was next for you after that?
So, in college, even before that, it was like right around my senior year, I started getting into hip hop, like, which also feeds into my let's call them garbage years when I was doing terrible things. Anyways, that was in the past. But yeah, I started getting heavily into hip hop around that time.
Right.
And I was like just trying to rhyme words constantly, like even without it would just be going in my head, like ball, fall, y'all, crawl, small, and then like it just kind of starting to get annoying.
Sure.
So I was like, I should probably just like do something with this instead of like let it drive me mad, which we're just talking about. Anyways,
we're all mad here.
So started writing it down, like doing some English classes, and some people in the classes, I'd perform them, and they'd be like, "Oh, you should like actually do this," and I was like, "Oh, no, I'll go for it."
Yeah.
So started doing competitions around town, open mics. I got another story. Like one of the first open mics I ever went to. Oh man, it was bad. I got wrapped off stage. That hasn't happened to me since. Ever since
8
then.
Mile style.
Oh man, like
his name's
I
Clarence.
got wrecked. Like my friend got it worse than I did though. Like I was lucky, to be honest. Like
really.
So this is in college. Like when I started getting into all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know. It's just another mic. I'm rapping, and this guy's like, "Yo, where's all the gangster shit at?" Because I like to be like philosophical. I'm like really philosophical with how I do things. He's like, "Yo, where's all that gangster stuff at? Like, come on, like, what's this going on here?" And I was and then this was back when I had like no merit either, so I was like, "Oh, like
still
all like
green, just not sure what you're doing."
Yeah, now if someone did that to me, I'd be like, "Yo," and I start, like, "Hey, buddy, like,
nice try."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyways, he just comes up and he just starts just rhyming me under the floor, man, just like destroying me, right? And then like I like kind of came back and I was about to say some stuff I shouldn't have said. I was like, "Oh, like." Take you out back or something, and it's like, nah, dude, I'm like, that guy's gonna beat me up if I say that. Like, I should not say that, especially where I was at then. Like, I don't know, I'm doing martial arts, but it's not something that you want to.
Yeah. Avoid the confrontation.
So I was like, I then just like chose to say nothing, which is a lot better. Sometimes saying nothing is better than acting a fool that way than saying stuff and acting a fool that way.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh yeah, whatever, and then like snags the mic out of my hand, gives it to my friend, just destroys my friend's entire existence, like way worse than he did me. Just like called him like some Hank Hill lookalike, and it was just it was actually kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no!
Like even he was kind of laughing, but afterwards, we're like, he like took the mic back out of his hand and just destroyed us even more. And then like we pretty much just got like sent off stage and like with our toe between our legs and just like, man, we hate this. That was like straight like Eminem, just like, I hate this crap. Like, yeah. And then it was just funny though, because I kind of like lit a fire under me, because I was like, man, I'm never gonna let somebody play me like that. I don't care if it's rap or whatever. Like it could be like just a passing by on the street. Like I don't know, just that feeling of just like getting served basically.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a good one.
No.
And then I was like, man, like I'm not gonna do that to other people. However, that needs to be put a stop to, because there's people like me that are trying like new stuff. Like I was brand new, and like that guy's doing that, and like, yeah, cool, you're like gonna kill my career like right out the gate, and not give like whack people a chance. But it turns out I opened up for Afro Man, Del Funky Homo Sapien, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Mac Mall. I kept pursuing it. So what about these other people that quit? Yeah. Because someone just came along and just like, nah. And like,
some dickhead just shook their confidence too much.
Yeah, and like, I mean, maybe you need that, because then for me, I was like, nah, that like lit a fire into me. And so like most people would be like, oh man, like, which I was for a couple days.
Sure, yeah.
And after that, I was like, nah, F that, man. I'm gonna come back, man.
Yeah.
So it turns out a couple years later, I think it was a year later, I go back to the same place, right? And that guy's there, and he's trying to heckle me again. I don't think he remembered me, but I remembered him. And he's trying to heckle me again, right? And he's like, "Oh, where's the gangster rap at?" I was like, "Oh, I remember you, dude."
I know this.
And I was like, "Yo, screw all," like, I'm using different words, but I was like, screw all these people like trying to like dog on philosophy and like coming together and like the camaraderie. I was like rapping it like super sweet too, just like nice, and I was staring at him the whole time. And like I think people kind of started catching on what's going on, so they all like started looking at him, like waiting for him to respond, and he just got up and left. And I was like,
so funny.
I was like, yeah. And I'm just like, I was like, my station tonight, buddy. Like, yeah.
You just walked out. You ruined my Tuesday. This sucks.
That's really all it is at the end of the day. That's why I think it's funny that people take it so seriously. But.
Yeah. It's like you can't help it sometimes, you know. But you have to take it a little seriously.
But, I don't know. That was definitely a segue of a story, but it was just...
The retribution is always fun, especially when you keep going.
It's always sweet, man. Especially when people doubt you and you prove them wrong. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. To go kind of back to what you were saying with that. So how was it to open for Afro Man and Bone Thugs and them? Like, what was that experience like? Like,
at first it was surreal. I was like, I never would have thought in a million years, especially Del, like hieroglyphics, man, like Deltron 3030, like Del the Funky Homo Sapien, like that was insane. Like, and Afro Man too, like Mac Mall, like those are like legends. Bone Thugs, like I was listening growing up, and like high school me would have like killed for that.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Like, after the first 2 shows, I'm not going to lie, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. I kind of got a little, maybe I'm taking a little for granted, but I'm like, yeah, this is normal for me now. Like, but at the same time, like, I still do think about it, and I'm like, dang, dude, like, I don't think I'm that good, and somehow I managed to pull that, like.
Yeah.
Like,
because you think about, too, it's like how many people would kill for that kind of opportunity. Like, even just something simple like that. You talk to, you know, any millennial here, it's like Afro Man, Colt 45, Bone Thugs, like they've got all of their tracks that pretty much everybody knows.
Exactly. You know? And actually, so I've opened up for Afro Man 3 times, and one of them was this year, and then Bone Thugs was also this year.
Nice.
So that was recent. Bone Thugs was like a month ago even.
Wow.
So that was like, I was surprised I booked that one, to be honest. I'm trying to book Ice Cube. He's coming up in November.
Yeah.
I've been kind of like put my feelers out for that. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I give it like a 5% chance. Which
you never
is like,
know.
5%'s pretty big number
when
it comes to that. Like, yeah.
Ice Cube's a huge name.
Oh man, he's going to the GSR, and like I've been talking to people, and my name's in the hat at least.
Yeah,
pretty big hat, but
it was like the name. It's in the Marble Bowl, but maybe they see the marble. I'm like, this is the right one.
Or, yeah,
you know.
Oh hey,
yeah. And it was like, I can't say that last name.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is...
Just Bolognese, get out of here.
Bolognese, yeah. Like, what, Italian, all right, maybe. Yeah.
So, with the rapping portion of it, do you have, now that you've gotten better and you kind of have, you know, more of your confidence there from that last story, you got your kind of retribution and everything, do you have, like we just talked about, possibly opening for Ice Cube, but do you have any... like, as weird of a question is, do you have any aspirations on where you want to get with that? Do you have anything of like you want to headline somewhere? You want to, you know, cut albums, work with certain producers? Like, what do you kind of have?
So my goal with hip hop is my goal with acting is my goal with like my whole life, like, to be honest. And that's like, all right. How do I word this without stepping on toes? Like,
sure,
a lot of people in the world aren't the smartest. Let's just face it. There's some people that do really awful things and are not good people.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't know any different, though. They've never seen different. They never heard different. Nobody's ever told them different. They never even knew there was a different lifestyle, way to act, way to think.
Yeah.
So
if it's all you know.
Right? Like, if all you have known to communicate is yelling, then that's all you're going to do to other people, because that's normal for you. You're like, oh, to get my communication across, I have to yell.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm violent, then people will understand me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it doesn't have to be like that. Sometimes that's necessary, don't get me wrong. Like, but we'll get to that's
depending on
that's its own philosophical thing. But really, I just like want to make an avenue for people where they can like feel comfortable and like even in an uncomfortable spot and like talk about things and bring things up and point and give them the light, like, and have them think deeply about concepts and themselves, whereas maybe they wouldn't before without that nudge. Mm-hmm. Or maybe they never even knew. They're like, oh, I never knew that I could help this old lady across the street. Like, I'm the person that can clean up the trash. Like, I'm the guy that can be the hero. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Like, I always thought I had to be the bad guy because that's how I survived.
Right.
And it's like, pick your battles, like, you know, like, so.
Pick and choose what you want to do. And
sometimes, like, some evil is necessary, like, to survive. Like, I'm not going to go out in the hood and be like, oh, hey, guys, like, let's be positive and all sunshine and rainbows. Like, that's just unrealistic. Yeah. But you can, like, there's situations where you're like, oh, hey, I got like $2 and my friend has $0. Oh, here's $1. Like, now we both have $1. Something simple as that. That's like a metaphor, but yeah.
Helping someone when you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I always thought about that too. In a similar kind of light, I worked at a active living retirement home for a while.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so it was cool. You know, you met all like a buddy of mine, his grandma was actually one of the tenants there, and we hung out randomly one day, and he was like, oh yeah, Jean, she's there. And then we kind of talked about it, and I was like, oh, cool, Jean's awesome. She's a sweetheart. And then we just meet all the people, and one of the things that I would do to follow kind of that guideline you were talking about is there was so much food left over. Like, they made a bunch of food for everybody there because it was dinners, lunches, whatever it was. Yeah. So every time after the shift was coming to a close, everybody that worked there got a meal. And then after then, they were like, do you guys want to take any of this food home? I was like, I will. So I would get these giant sandwich bags, and I would just fill them to the brim with whatever we had. And then I'd go driving around. I'm like, you hungry? Like someone who's just kind of standing on the side of the road, and they're like, I'm starving. Here you go. And you'd give them like 3 sandwich bags full of crap, and they're just like, what? It was my all-time favorite thing.
Dude,
like, this is the best.
Stuff like that, man. That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's
like,
cool.
My wife and I were talking about, if we ever won the lottery, what would we do? You know, like house, this, that. And it was like one of the things I thought about was having a charity to help feed the homeless like that. And my original name for it was, I'm just out here, you know, hunting for people to kind of do things. I was like, I'm just hobo hunting. I was like,
ooh, that's not, yeah.
That doesn't, no, I don't think that's the right name for it. But then I was like, it's hungry hunting.
Okay, yeah.
Try and break the hunger for people. And I was like, that'd be pretty sweet. Have like kind of a food truck that goes around and does stuff like that.
That's cool. I've heard of people, they'll like keep food in their car. Yeah. Just like usually more non-perishable stuff, and then whenever they see someone, they'll just have it on the ready, like little care packages even.
Yeah. Or you ever have the thought where you give somebody, like I've done it before, where I got food, and then as I'm driving, I had like an extra thing on the side, and then I saw somebody there, and I was like, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I gave it to him, and then as I'm driving away, I should have given them a fork. That's going to be messy. You know, like just random thought. I was like, should I have gone back and given them a fork?
I think you did your part.
I'm already too far away. You know, like little things that make you like contradict yourself.
Then you don't even think about stuff like that.
Yeah,
really,
and then I was like, that was nice. The shit.
The little things. You know? I'm sure he was still grateful.
Yeah, it was like, that's one of my favorite things because I'm always hungry. And if I can help feed somebody else, I'm like, that's what I'd love to do.
That's a serious problem.
You know what I mean?
It's like eating enough.
Yeah. It was like, that's all I want to. So to go back to kind of the acting portion, So while you're rapping and you found music, after college you did that one class, did you think about wanting to pursue it further, or did you not really have any intention to like additionally pursue it?
That's kind of all right. So that's what I was getting at earlier. Like that's why I started making music. It's because I love it. It's like I'm like, sure, there might be a goal. I don't know what it is. I mean, I told you like the goal, but like the end game.
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure what that would be. I just feel different when I'm making music than when I'm not. Like even if I just make a terrible song and it's just god awful and I delete it and I'm just like whatever. Like the next day I'll like be happier because I like. It just puts me in a different creative mindset, I guess. Yeah. And then not only that, so started making music videos, right? I think I only have 2 music videos out. Technically I have more than that, but I have 2 official music videos out.
Right.
And 8. And that's kind of how I started getting into the industry more so on the acting portion of things. I was I'll take a splash. Might as well. Yeah, there you go. Squeeze it.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. In fact, cheers. But, yeah, so I was making a music video with Andrew before Mad Wife Productions. He's a local filmmaker.
Mm-hmm. Look back, we've had Andrew Arguello on the show.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him a lot. I actually grew up with him, went to elementary school with him.
Yeah.
I got so many stories, man. I have another story about that. But anyways, maybe we'll get to it. But yeah, so we made a music video. Speaking of which, I play a bum in the music video, and like an angel comes and gives me money, like helps me off the street. Mm-hmm. And I go to a liquor store, and I'm like debating, should I? And I'm like, nah. And then I go and like buy like some nicer clothes, try to get a job interview, like kind of clean up. And the future comes around. Now the angel that gave me the money, he's now homeless. Right? And so I'm like, oh, hey, like I'm all cleaned up and like doing good now. Like he helped me like get on my feet. So then I go to give him money and I'm like, oh yeah, and like walk away and I look back and he's just gone. Like nobody's there. So like
makes you think.
Yeah, just kind of like powerful message.
Pay it forward.
Exactly. And it's like you don't know what how much like just giving someone that one meal will change their entire life.
Yeah.
Like maybe they needed that meal to like have an extra that much energy to go, I don't know, lift up a car or something to save a life. That's like getting extreme, but you just never know the impact like that you can make of like something small.
Mm-hmm. So then after you do the music video, is that because I assume you were the lead of it?
Yes.
Is that what reignited the acting bug?
So that's actually like almost what started me in like film acting, because I was mostly doing theater stuff. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to like do acting for the wrong reason. When I was younger, now that I'm older, I was like, yo, I can actually use this as a platform. Mm-hmm. Going back to philosophy, I have a degree in philosophy and psychology both. I dual majored. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, this is like a perfect platform to reach people, like music, acting, like the stage. That's just how you get a message out. Like, yeah. So right there, like, and then not only that, I have a huge affinity towards Bruce Lee. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much almost like what he was doing, was spreading philosophy through film.
Yeah. And I mean, who doesn't think back to one of their favorite Bruce Lee movies too? Like the influential hold that he had just on culture.
Oh man, all of it. He changed like the whole entire film industry almost overnight.
Yeah, just be water. It's fine.
In fact, there's a quote from him right here. Boards don't hit back.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Who doesn't get a kick out of Bruce Lee?
Hey.
See what I did there?
Have you heard about his brother? His healthier brother?
No.
Broccoli?
Oh, dad jokes. They're my favorite. So
it's all about dirty uncle jokes now. Dad jokes are in the past.
the dirty uncle jokes coming in hot. So for the acting bug, after you do the couple of music videos and you kind of have it in your mind that you want to pursue this,
Yeah.
Do you talk back? Do you reach back out to Andrew maybe for something he's doing, or what's your next step?
So I actually got an agent from that music video. Like they saw it and they're like, "Oh, come be part of my agency." And then like I flew out to Atlanta. I was doing some stuff out there.
Nice.
And yeah, it was for a second.
Sure.
Turns out the agency was trying to take all the credit of everything I was doing for themselves.
Right.
And like literally putting their name on it. Which I don't mind. They're like, "Oh yeah, look at our client," or like, "Look at our guy." They're like, "No, look at what we did." And I was like, "You literally did zero of that." And so dropped them basically. And then so I was kind of like, I kind of left a bad taste in my mouth for agents. So I was like, I'm gonna do everything myself. Like, and so far I have. Like, not you can't do it all yourself. Like literally, how are you gonna like turn on the camera and then like, oh hey, and then like go sit in the other chair and like, oh yeah, and then like you need people obviously.
That's one of the things that everyone's doing nowadays too, where it kind of makes it a little easier for you to do that. But at the same time, it's like the amount of work that goes into that when you can also just find like-minded people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So like mine is like Wu-Tang Clan. Like just build a team of bosses.
Yeah.
Like everyone on the team is their own individual. They can go off and do their own thing and be solid. And when they come together, it just amplifies instead of like, oh, like we're both up here, now you're here. And then it's like, oh, now we're both down. How'd that happen? Or like, oh, now you're down, but I went up. Oh, that's not right either. It's like, nah, like the entire team is just like represents for themselves pretty much.
Yeah. And you think about that too with like Wu-Tang, how, you know, like Ghostface and Method Man and Redman and all of them go out and do their own thing, and Redman and Method Man are still popular to this day.
Right.
You know, like they've gone off and done their own thing, but then they always bring it back to, like I heard a recent song with Method Man and Vinnie Paz.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they were talking, and then Method Man just says, Wu-Tang forever and a day. And it's like, it's been how many years later? And
They're still selling out. So Nas and Wu-Tang right now, they're on tour right now. All their shows are selling out, right?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Like Da Baby and like Sada Baby and like all these babies coming out. Like they're having trouble selling their tickets.
Yeah.
So they're canceling shows.
Yeah.
They can't book out their shows, but they're the ones on the top of the charts though. Mm-hmm. So what's going on there? Like,
yeah, it's like they're making all of the stuff that's on the radio, and you know how often I listen to the radio? I have The Vibe on, which is all 90s. So it's all 90s hip hop, and it's like I go to the stations that are popular now, and it's like I have no idea what they're saying, and then you click back, and then Ja Rule comes on or something, you know.
Yo, that comes back to what I was talking about earlier. They're actually talking about stuff. Like they're like meaningful, like it like touched you in a different way. This stuff now is just record this, record that. That's a banger.
Yeah, and it was like, didn't you just make that? It was like, no, I was. Did I? Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Where's your lyrics? It's like what I did with the with the thing. It's like you know.
Where are your lyrics? Mark.
Yeah, about that.
Could you come?
Ask one of my ghostwriters. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like there's nobody else here but us. I don't know. Pay me. Yeah. Like they're still making money from all of that anyway. So.
I mean, yeah. So they don't.
But then
don't
you
care.
think about like how all of the 90s is making such a resurgence. You know, like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and them, like from the pop culture.
Yes.
Or it's like you could bring back, you know, like.
The Offspring, they're still touring. Like,
all of them,
that's
you know, like you bring
yeah.
any of the 90s, early 2000s back, and everybody just loses their mind, you know, because it's
remember
all
the
this
Super
generation.
Bowl? You remember that? That was crazy.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, with Eminem and like Snoop Dogg. That was like everyone. I was like hyped. I was so. I've
was
never
like
been
that Super
hyped.
Bowl I didn't care about because the teams that were there I was like, nah, whatever. But then it's like that was mainly what I was waiting for, and then I heard somewhere it was like kids were like, "Who's this Mary J. Blige?" And it was like, "Y'all better put some respect on Mary J. It's Mary J.
Better
Blige.
respect yourself more when you talk about Mary J. Blige.
It is Mary, Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, like all of them coming out. It was like that was.
See, another thing is like we just partial because that was like our era, and I was like, nah, like it's literally like you can look this up. Like literally, there's a different frequency in the sound in the music, like that like raises your vibe, I guess.
Yeah, like the serotonin in your body. Yeah.
So on the new stuff, the hertz are off. Like the hertz are different, so it actually affects your like skeletal or nervous system differently. Like literally.
Really?
Yeah. Like interestingly enough.
Huh. I never even thought.
Yeah,
about that.
you can look it up. I mean, it's hard to find anything that's valid anymore. But
yeah,
I was actually studying this in school when I was at UNR for psychology. I was really interested in the psychology of music, and different songs have different frequencies, and the more popular songs have a hertz of 4. I forget what it is. Like the love frequency. Like the most popular songs usually hit, or it's 512, I think. It hits the love hertz.
Okay.
There's like a name for it, and like 9 times out of 10, your favorite song probably hits that frequency.
Is on the popular radio because of what went into it.
But now they're like doing one that's like a lower one that like kind of like makes you, I don't want to say violent, but like fight,
yeah,
kind of
gets
like
you all hyped up or whatever.
Yeah, and like more dancing instead of actually like sitting down and listening, or like kind of like, what's going on? Like like it's more just like like crazy.
Yeah,
I don't want to say drugs, but drugs like
sure, yeah,
it spikes your brain that way.
Drugs help, whatever.
Well, that's the only way you can listen to it.
So when you're getting into now film acting, what come back from Atlanta, have that bad taste of the casting agent that was there or the agency that you were with? What do you do when you come back kind of thinking, well, now I should probably just do this on my own? What do you do now that you come back?
I came back, and I always wanted to make a martial arts film. And so this is before I actually made a real martial arts film. I made a martial arts music video.
Okay.
And that was just fun, man. Like I just like had all my friends get together, and we just met up, and we're like just met at the park every once in a while, and like, oh yeah, we're gonna go over choreography, and like who knows what the people were thinking when they were watching us, just like like two like full grown men, just like like we were gonna go in slow motion too, just so we can get like the
you're just like, what
are these guys doing?
What are they doing?
Like influencers these days.
Drugs and
like right, like and then we look at them and like, oh god, they're gonna fight us.
Oh god, we've locked eyes.
But it was just so much fun. And after that, I was like, you know what? I like really want to do this. I want to make like a real martial arts film. And I was like, I don't have enough money to do that, but I have enough money to make a short film now.
Yeah, a little something.
And it was during COVID. Like, so right after I made that one, I was like on like back to back. I was like, I already know what I'm gonna do next. Like, I was like, music video's done, cool. Like, I want to make an actual martial arts like video now.
Yeah.
And so that's when Just Another Day in Reno was born. It was like right after the quarantine lifted, so a lot of places were still shut down, but like some places were still like starting to open up. So I just want to make something that was going to make people laugh. Because I noticed like how everyone was making those morbid jokes. Like even the jokes were like depressing. Like everything was just depressing at that time. I was thriving. I was like, yeah, this is great. Like nobody's around. Haha, yeah, it's my time. Like
get away from me, people.
Like I was stoked. Like I was like I just stay at home and play video games mostly anyway. So
yeah, I just hang out. I don't want people around.
I was cool with it. And I was like, I was already learning kung fu like online. Like so I was like, hey, this is great for me.
Yeah.
So anyways, made Just Another Day in Reno. I wanted to make people laugh with it. It definitely succeeded with that. It's won multiple awards around the world. I think 11 awards and 14 nominations.
Wow.
12 actually, because my friend got Best Supporting Actor. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I
haven't. Yeah, I've got it on my list.
Okay,
here.
He's a stunt double for the girl that I fight. And he's like 250 or something, and she's like not like that at all. Yeah, like maybe like around there. And he's got glasses and a beard, and like so we just put like balloons in his shirt, and like just like I go and go to slap her, and it just turns into him, and just like ooh, and he like just like flies away, and then like comes back and it's her. It's so funny. But he won Best Supporting Actor for that.
Really?
Yes.
That's all. That's awesome.
We still joke about it to this day. We will literally laugh until we cried to this day about that. Be like, yo, dude, remember when you got Best Supporting Actor? And then we're just like, right, that's all we have to say.
Damn right I did. You know I remember that day.
There's a part in like the film too. So like later on like I like fighting her and I'm on top of her and I'm like, like got you where I want you. And then like the balloon flies by the screen and it was definitely the balloon that was not like for, yeah, it was so funny. We did not plan for that at all either. And we're just like,
it just happened.
Let's just leave it in.
Yeah, why not?
People actually have pointed out, they're like, hey, look, they're like, I didn't think anybody was going to notice. And
but they found the little Easter eggs and everything that you had hiding in there.
That was great.
That's hilarious.
And, Monica did a really good job too. That was the co-star. She's a martial artist and she's awesome. I'd love to work with her again, actually. She did really good. Maybe in the sequel.
Sure, why not?
Just Another Night in Reno.
There you go.
Or Just Another Day in San Diego. I don't know. There's a lot of potential there, actually.
Yeah, Still Another Day in Reno.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
Life and Times, yeah.
Yeah, just another week. Just keep going.
Just another lifetime, yeah.
So I've seen it too now. You've got other movies that you're working on after Just Another Day in Reno, because I've noticed that you've been steadily working.
Oh, yeah.
You've been doing a good job with True and with Mad Wives and all of theirs. What are some of the other projects that you've worked on after that?
So last year, I was like booking commercials like crazy, which was cool. I got like 6 commercials last year. That was nice. This year, I got like 1, and I was like,
the ebbs and flows with
commercial, it. Yeah. Where's the auditions, buddies? Like, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, like, no, I get that because you get those highs and lows with everything. Yeah. Like, there's been times where I'll get like 3 or 4 emails, like 4
back to
text
back
messages,
almost, yeah.
and I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what I can do here. And then 2 months later, after it's been, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, nothing. It's kind of just the fluctuation of how it goes.
Seriously, yeah, no, because like I'm like killing it now more than ever, and like I was not killing it when I was getting all those other commercials. I was like, oh, I'm a new guy, and like I was getting all of them, and I'm like, yo, guys, like I know what I'm doing now, and then,
I'm
like,
here.
And now it's like crickets. I'm like, meh. Like anyway,
that's always how you've got a steady rhythm of everything. This is great.
What was cool is the last commercial I was in though was Stone Cold Steve Austin was in it. So I got to meet him. That was really cool. Yeah.
I hear nothing but good things about him too.
He was great. He lives in Gardnerville.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. He's just here in town. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's around. Him and Jeremy Renner. Like, they'll probably meet up and have drinks sometimes,
Yeah, it was like, hey, Jeremy.
Yeah. Stone Cold heard you want to have a drink. I put down a cold with the cold guy.
He's like, I think I'm good.
Jeremy.
It's
like, oh, sorry, I'd rather get run over. No, I'm just kidding.
I got a busted leg, man. I can't do it. He was like, I'm coming over anyway. All right, cool. I'll see you when you get here.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like with those buddies that you just know that are like, hey, we're doing
You're
this.
like, I'm busy. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Like,
yeah, all right, I'll see you in a minute.
Let me in. I'm here. Aw.
Yeah, damn. All right, come in. Door's unlocked because come on in. So you got the commercials, which is just awesome. You know, like when you get those steady pieces of work and you can add to your demo reel and everything.
Some nice. I was mostly an extra, but nice little pocket change here and there.
Yeah, you find those little cut screens and you're like, you see that shirt?
Oh, yeah. See that hand? Like,
that's
barely,
me.
Hey, like.
Yeah, that's me. Like I did, I believe it was Fast 7. And I was an extra in that.
No way.
And I was standing right behind the scene where Michelle Rodriguez was. And you could, like, if you pause it briefly when it's on her, you can sort of see
that's awesome.
The tank top I was wearing.
Do you recognize that torso?
It was like, go ahead, pause it right there. I was there.
0.02 seconds. Like,
pretty much. That's how it was.
That's epic, though. That's forever.
And we got to talk with Michelle Rodriguez, and we all took a picture with her afterwards. Like, it was super cool. Like, extra work is fun when you can get it, even though that's not the ultimate goal. But it's like she was saying while she was talking to all the extras, she was like, you guys are doing a great job. Thanks for being here. And someone just out of the blue, wow, you're really nice. And he's like, why are most people dicks? And all of us are kind of like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, pretty much.
She's like, dude, I was an extra for like 2-3 years, and that's all the work I ever did. So you guys are doing a really good job. I was like, thanks. That's appreciate that. Man. Yeah. Where it's just down to earth, and she's been in all, like the biggest franchises that there have been.
Seriously.
Like, she's still down to earth.
I've noticed that people that are like way up at the top are usually really cool. It's the ones that are like right almost there are kind of the ones that
are striving for that top spot.
Yeah.
That are kind of dicks.
From there down, and like the very bottom, they're usually pretty chill too. But then like right in the middle is like
Yeah.
It's like crabs mentality, like just get out of the bucket.
It's like those ones that I always think about where it's like those are the ones that I typically idolize how I would like my career to be. It's like Ron Perlman, Steve Howey, who was in Shameless and Reba and all this stuff. Keith David.
Oh man, there
he's
you go.
One of my all-time favorites.
That's a good one.
I was one of the past episodes. I was talking with Elijah, and we were like, you know how people say if they ever wanted their life narrated by someone, it would be Morgan Freeman or we'll do Samuel Jackson, like someone like that. I was like, nah, give me Keith David, having that low bravado coming in. It was like, and then he went back for the Pop-Tarts.
Dude, that'd be so sweet.
Right? How cool would that
James
be?
Wood would be pretty cool too, actually.
James Woods, that would be pretty
I don't know why
awesome.
I just thought of a funny joke, though, if you had a Pokemon narrating your life. Anyways, just be Psyduck. That'd be so funny.
Get out of my head.
How does he know what I'm thinking?
Why can I still hear you? Please stop. That would be hilarious.
That's so good, actually. That sounds like a short in itself.
That
right
does.
there.
You're just hanging out here, and then one person's got their narration by some cool, deep voice, and this is amazing, and then you just see the other person. Psyduck.
It's kind of...
Just let me get through my day.
Please just once.
And then after everything changes, then it turns into a nice voice. There was one that my kid was actually talking about. I think it was Never Have I Ever. It's a show on Netflix, and it follows this teenage girl, and her life is narrated by John McEnroe, the old tennis player from like Mr. Deeds.
That's what I thought.
So that guy, because I came in and she was watching like the 3rd season or something, and then you just hear, and then we were going out to do this, and I was like, is that John McEnroe? He goes, you know John McEnroe? It's Johnny McEnroe.
Like, yeah, come on.
So then we ended up watching the entire. So it's so funny. Like it's just
like
him
narrating it. It's a girl.
Yeah, she's like going through teenage life crisis, and she's just like, and that I can't remember.
That's
the
hilarious.
Name, but she was like, and then Mary went through and did this, and she thought, shit.
That's genius.
And
That's so funny.
I thought that was hilarious, and I was like, this is my the. Like love interest in it is narrated by Andy Samberg.
This is that's perfect.
It's funny. If you haven't seen the show, it's pretty funny. It's
so good.
Like she just loses her dad, so it's her kind of dealing with the family dynamic of everybody kind of grieving, but it makes it a lot of fun because she's
so funny.
Still a teenager in high school.
That's some good writing right there.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I was like, because we had kind of seen bits and pieces of it, and I was like, maybe I'll check that out. And then the kid was watching it and was like, okay. And we all sat down and watched it all the way through. Yeah. It was like, there's my reason.
Andy Samberg, anything he does is usually pretty funny.
I love Andy Samberg.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's one of my all-times. Bill Hader, he is one of my all-time
In fact,
favorites.
I didn't steal, but Hot Rod was a little bit of inspiration for Just Another Day in Reno.
You really can't beat Hot Rod.
And stunts. Like, come on. It's like right in my alley even. Stunts, yeah. Whoa.
Or like Will Arnett's character. It was like, I'm going in for smart water. Should I make a dose? And just like saying stupid shit the entire, like, you're just like, oh, that guy's a tool.
Or he's just slapping. He's like, psh, 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 and that's how it's done. That's so funny. Like
3 flaming Dr. Peppers. Okay. Is that Samson? I could quote that.
Oh, right. There is no tool in this pool. Yeah, no, that movie's
It was like,
great.
we don't have enough time. I could quote them. Could quote it all day.
But moving on. I'll just go right into it. So yeah, Escape of the Dragons. That's my next film.
Next one. Are you still in production or?
Yeah. So I was kind of in like production hell. It's gonna be done in a couple months.
Sure. Yeah.
But the strike did not help that.
Sure.
It was often the sound effects, pretty much. So we're doing sound effects and doing the mixing and mastering, like pretty much finalizing it.
Yeah.
And then that happened. So I was like, cool, because the company we're using is out of LA.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. It's kind of hard to do much.
Yeah. So brought it home, which is I actually originally wanted to use. So now I'm using Tom Gordon.
Okay. Yeah.
So now he's doing it all, which I'm very happy about. Inspired Amateur, I believe, is the name of his production company. Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually wanted to use him from the get-go. It's just I used the other people for Just Another Day in Reno, so they're being nice and hooking it up. And then,
helping because you know them. And
so, yeah, so I was like actually really stoked to be able to use Tom. I recorded a song for this film for the credit track with Tom. So he pretty much already had like his toe in it anyways.
Okay.
And had already recorded like the credit track, so he already did a whole 2-3 minute thing out of like the 20 minutes.
Ready to go, yeah.
So yeah, it is a 20-minute runtime. Has an intro.
Great.
I made it kind of like old school kung fu movies.
Yeah.
Where there's like an intro in them, and like, I don't want to give too much away because
it's
I'm really excited about that intro actually.
And what's it called?
Escape of the Dragon.
Escape of the Dragon.
Yes.
I was like, it can't be Enter the Dragon.
And I believe a couple of people that you've interviewed were in it, such as Eden.
Okay.
Then you were talking about Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to name other names and make it awkward if they weren't, that
like,
I don't know if they were here or not.
Andrew?
Yeah, and also Andrew.
Yeah.
But everyone's really excited for it. Speaking of Eden, it was his birthday the other day, and I went over to his house. Actually, he was having a birthday party, and did a soft showing, like just to see how the crowd reacted to it. And man, like everyone was like, "Squash, squash!"
Everyone got a kick out of it.
Afterwards, it was literally like everyone was kung fu fighting, like squash one. Like everyone afterwards was like, I was like, oh man, it felt so good.
Exactly what you wanted.
I was like, please, can it just be done? I just want it to be done.
Now you're in the waiting period of letting that come out.
And I can't do anything to make it go faster. But,
do they have they given you any kind of official release date, or just kind of it's in a gray area a couple of months?
I literally just met up with Tom maybe like 3 days ago to finally hit the button to have him get the go ahead pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'm aiming for September.
Okay.
It will definitely be this year. It's gonna be before December. That's all. Yeah, before December. That's all.
September before December, somewhere in there.
Yeah, exactly. Ideally it would be done by next month because end of summer.
Sure. Yeah.
And all
have
that.
a big showing for that.
And in fact, I'm trying to get the song played on the radio to market for it, and then I think it might be on the news as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Little promotion for local stuff.
I'm not gonna say I think, or I don't know if it is, but I'm just gonna say it's gonna be on the news.
It will be.
Yes. Put it on the universe. It's gonna be on the news.
It'll be on the news.
So yeah, trying to have a theater showing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it'll be either at Riverside. Or Legends. I'm trying really hard for that. I'm not gonna make any promises, but
sure.
You
can only do what you can.
Man, yeah. In fact, I'll even have the posters done. IMDb is up if you want to look. If anybody wants to look it up, it's online. You can see the synopsis. You can see posters. You can see who's in it.
Great.
I'm gonna make posters as well. So if you come to the premiere, I would say I'll make like 50 posters. So the first 50 people will get posters. Not only that, we'll be there, like cast and crew. So if you want to get us to sign it, that would be your chance. Like, we're all going to be in the same spot at the same time. You never know who's going to do what in their life. You know, one of those signatures might be worth a lot of money.
You've got the autograph. Because everybody here is working and hustling and doing everything they can.
I've got I got a lot of local people. I got like 30 people in on it. Like, plus maybe. Yeah, I held auditions, and for everyone that showed up, I was like, hey, my friends.
I know you guys.
Literally there was one person I did not know. And it was Eden. I didn't know Eden.
Oh, how funny.
And then now me and Eden are like good friends, man. Yeah, like he was like the villain in my film too. So I don't know, we just kind of hit it off.
All worked out.
And he showed up to like every single. We had a lot of
rehearsals
rehearsal training to go into that. And you'll see, if you look closely, you'll be like, hey, it's the same guy getting hit every time. Yeah, because that's the guy that showed up every time the rehearsals. Everyone else just kind of...
He knows the choreography.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they earned it because they were there.
Because they were there putting in the work.
Exactly. You'll see it on, too, like the credits, their names. Yeah, they know it, too. Yeah. They know, yeah.
They were there putting in the work.
So, that'll be released this year. There's just another film that was released, Ghost, with Dylan Brown. And
horror nerds?
Yeah, Horror Nerd Productions, which is also Horror Dads Productions, or they combined for that film, I think.
Okay.
And Michael Rock is the lead. I just did some stunts in that, though, so did some stunt work. I was in it for a second. I get killed twice in that film, actually. Yeah, that's the first time I got killed on screen.
Nice.
I actually did another movie where I get killed, but it's not released yet. So technically that one's...
Yeah, that's the first one that actually was published.
And it was twice. Screen. I get turned into I'm a cultist, and I get killed, and then I get turned into like a demon, and then I get killed again.
There you go. Double killing.
Hey, man.
Put that on the resume.
Exactly. Like, who do you know I got killed twice in one film?
I don't die just once. I'll die twice. Maybe 3 if you want me to.
I gotta do it twice just to be sure.
Yeah, just to help out everybody here.
Make sure you did it right. So I did that 2 weeks ago. No, last week. I did some other stunts for Matthew Bonta and Sequel Productions.
Okay.
And that was just we got a fight scene inside of an RV. So oh man, that was so fun. Oh man, I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about that though. So that's about as much as I'll probably say.
Keep it under wraps, but be on the lookout.
It was epic. Oh man, that's like one of my favorites. I'll say one thing. So like an RV where there's a passenger in the driver's seat, and then like you go in like to the back of the RV.
Yeah.
Well, I get kicked into the opening, like in between the passenger and driver, just and like get laid out right there. Like that was definitely my idea too, man. That was awesome.
That sounds like a good time. Just lots of fun.
There's so much more I want to say, but yeah, that was a good one.
Keep it under wraps for right now until everyone sees the movie.
So yeah, and then I was talking to Dylan Brown of Horror Nerd about working on another film coming up. Mm-hmm. I won't say too much on it.
Sure.
Because it's still in the oven, kind of.
Yeah, but, still in the pre.
Let's just say that Dylan majors in point of view film.
Okay.
And I usually do action.
Right.
So I'll just put those. They
kind of think of like a hardcore Henry.
Kind of.
Ish.
Think of very similar, but a huge twist on that.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
But same, but different.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Let kind of the minds wander.
Exactly.
On all of that.
Let's just say, how about this? The audience is very involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's another thing cooking, and then I'll be in Tahoe Joe 2.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's being filmed next year.
Nice.
So that's like a while. And then this weekend I'll be at Cordillera as well. I think we already talked about that, I think, before the camera was on. But yeah, I'll be at Cordillera this weekend. Yeah. I'm directing 2 of the table reads.
Okay. On with who?
That's a good question. Yeah, just got them, so I don't know. I'm still working. Or like, who's in it with me, or who wrote it?
I just had Brian Evans in here.
Oh yeah.
And he needed some people for the reading on Sunday, so I'll be there on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'll be there to help.
Got someone else to be with you then, because they were just asking. Anyways, all right, but so yeah, I have Andy Lane, Nomar Mendoza, and Brandon Boykins. Yeah. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. And then those are the actors I have. There's one more named Story. I can't remember her last name. Ray? No, Story. I don't know. Her name's Story. She's 13. She's cool. I heard really good things about her. I haven't met her yet,
but you've heard the good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited.
The positive.
Because the scripts I'm doing is it's like this little girl that's obsessed with Bruce Lee, and she's like an alcoholic mentor.
Right down your wheelhouse.
And I was like, oh man, dude, like what? Like yeah. And I was like, that's perfect.
Just where do I sign up?
The other script's really funny. I can't obviously talk about these too much, but the other one's funny. It's about this girl. She goes through a lot in life, and she kind of like has an escape through MMA and Muay Thai.
Okay.
Well, what's funny is the table read we got for the script is like nothing to do with MMA or Muay Thai. No.
Okay.
It's more of a late night TV show, HBO scene.
Gotcha.
And I was like, how did I get this? Like, I'm supposed to direct this? Like,
just ooh.
Yeah. Like the synopsis is like, oh yeah, MMA fighter. Yeah. Then the scene's like, oh, like noises that are
touching sensually.
Yeah. And I was like, how did you? What?
It's like I can't hear you enough. I'm doing just fine. No. Jim. More noises.
Like this Yeah, literally. Yeah, I had met up with the actress, and I was like going over lines with her, and I was like, "So here's the goal."
This is new for me too.
Like, exactly right. Like we want everyone to be happy as soon when we're done. Yes.
But this is what we're striving for.
We want people to be kind of pulling their collars once we're done here. That's the goal. And I was like, it was interesting, but yeah. And then I also got asked to act in one of them too. So
nice, great.
Chaos.
Got a lot of stuff coming down the barrel.
Chaos. And then actually, speaking of Brian, he does a lot of stuff with Green Vibe, and they're a nonprofit here in town, and they do like community cleanups.
Oh, okay.
So they'll go around and clean up like a bunch of trash, and I'm technically like an honorary member just because I've shown up so much that now they just give me jobs. They're like, oh, hey, it's you. All right, come on, let's go. Like, so last cleanup, we pulled out 1,700 pounds, or no, 1,700 pounds out of the river, out of Truckee. And so speaking of Brian, he usually films our stuff. Well, we also did a short skit. It's called Greenheart, where we reenacted Braveheart.
I did see something about that. Yeah.
But cleaning up the land pretty much, and it's like, look at all this trash. There's no way we can clean it all, and it's like, just the whole Braveheart speech, but pretty much.
Never take our recycle bins.
Yeah, exactly. And then and then we like all like run in and like clean up the trash and everything. And
that's hilarious.
So so that was actually a short little skit that we filmed, and then I got a couple other things here and there. Like, I don't know, just feel like last thing, I guess, the last major thing is I think this is hilarious. Is in December, I'm going to Paris to be a runway model.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm laughing with you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not. So you're laughing at me because I'm laughing at me? No, I'm just kidding. But
maybe a bit of both. But so, okay, just for, I'll say it is as delicately as possible. Why? Like for who? Like what's the crux of it?
I did a runway modeling in LA last year for these people called Preview Models.
Okay.
And they called me up and they're like, hey, we're only asking people who have walked with us before to go to Paris, and we want you to come. And I was like, so you asked me to be a runway model in Paris, and I was like, I'm not a runway model, but any runway model in the world would absolutely kill to do that.
To Paris. Yeah.
To runway. That's like it for like modeling. And I was like, all right, sign me up. Of course. I was like, yeah, give it to the guy that doesn't really want it. But
I don't really.
Hey, I've never had a reason to go to Paris, and that's as good a reason.
You get a authentic French croissant, like.
That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say right there. Yeah.
It's like, give me some of that hot chocolate and croissant.
So not only that, there's going to be models coming from Italy, Australia, I think they said Japan.
Oh, wow. It's all over.
Yes. And I'm very single. So
ladies.
Well,
you know what to do. His number's down below.
Wait till after December.
775-555.
Yeah, exactly. But, so I don't know. I'm pretty excited about that.
That's cool.
I've just never been to Paris either, so...
No, yeah, that's awesome. I would love to go down to Paris, but only for the child part of myself is where I'd want to go to Disneyland Paris. Because it's like I want to visit every Disney park because I've only been... to the West Coast. So I've only been Disneyland, and I know that backwards and forwards.
You got to go to Japan then, too, because...
That's on my list. Yeah. So I've got every one on my bucket list, and I tell my wife, and she's like, you realize those are expensive? I'm like,
no
that's not what I said.
Yeah,
it was like, I want to just go. It was like, that's kind of just one of the random life goals. Like, if I ever got a chance to go to any of those places, it'd be like, well, I'm taking 2 days, and I'm going to be over there. I
really want to check out Super Mario World.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've heard, interactive and crazy.
Great things about that. I only have one friend that I know that's been, and he was like, dude, it was so sick.
Oh, I would only imagine. Like, all of the stuff that you see for... Like, just, all of the theme parks that are out there in, like, Shanghai and Hong Kong.
Do you have kids?
I've got my stepdaughter.
Okay, I was going to say it'd be funny to go there and you're like stiff arm her. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to...
I've already done that. We went to Disneyland for her birthday, and we were just kind of walking around. I was like, excuse me?
I'm sorry, I got something to do here.
She knows, but then as soon as I do that, we're just walking down, and she goes, what's that? And she'll shove me out of the way. So it's like we've got it back and forth. So she does the exact same thing to me.
Oh shit, that's great, man.
Yeah. So Nick, we're gonna get you out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in, talking, telling the story. If you guys haven't heard the episode before, go back, listen to that. It's just the audio, but then now we've got it on video. So before we get you out of here, go ahead and promote all your socials. Anything else you'd like to promote that we can just have in the description? And stuff?
I'll just say, like, I'm a stunt coordinator, obviously an actor, producer, writer, director. Do a lot of martial arts, Tai Chi, capoeira. Started doing Drunken Monkey lately, which is so much fun. Wing Chun and Wushu. Those are like my main ones. Social media literally is my name, Nicholas Bullentini, Nicolas Bullentini. That's on Instagram and Facebook. I have my rap name is Saint Nicholas, ST period space Nicolas. I haven't put anything on Spotify yet. Just technically, I don't have anything official, which I do, but I just haven't put it on Spotify.
Sure, yeah.
They don't pay you. But I'm on YouTube. You can find all my music on YouTube, mainly philosophical boom bap. I just posted up a new, I don't want to call it an official music video, but it's a live music video, maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm pretty proud of that. It's like all my performances put together into one video, and it looks really cool. And I think that's it.
All right, yeah. Perfect. Well, you guys heard it here. Remember to follow Nick here. Follow us, Stephen Longley for me, Longley's Line for the show, Light Style Studio for our studio here. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Thanks for having me. Give me one of these.